Win more League Pro Guides.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be looking at some things within League of Legends that you may not have known. Now this will be a pretty cool video, I hope you guys enjoy it. There's a lot of cool little things that even I didn't know until putting together this script and this video, so hopefully you guys will learn something new and enjoy the video altogether. So first up on our list, we're going to talk about how you were able to actually crit towers. You heard me right, you used to be able to critical strike towers, and it was super overpowered because ADCs already were super good at it. I mean, even till now, and forever, ADCs are great at striking down towers. Another thing ADCs are also really good at is building critical strike, so ADCs that had critical strike and already chunked down towers were now destroying them super fast. I mean, can you imagine if this was still in the game when Yasuo was released? What's the point of killing your opponents when you can completely just destroy the most important objects in the game, which are towers? It was super broken and destroyed the core fundamentals of the game, so it was later removed on April 11th, 2009 because it was super imbalanced before that. However, after the removal, things were a little bit easier and made a lot more sense, and they never changed it back ever since. Another big thing is that games in the early days were super long and they wanted to shorten it. You may be asking, why were they super long? And that's because minions regen health. It was later removed on June 19th of 2009, but before its removal, it made it really hard to clear waves. I mean, as you were trying to clear them, they would regen. This also made CSing super hard. I mean, you would want to last hit the minion, you're about to get it, you're about to get that sweet gold, then it would regen just enough HP to survive your hit, and then an allied minion would take it down, and it was super annoying. A lot of people complained about it. This mechanic was also super clunky and weird, as well as slowed down things to a point that it was really boring, so Riot decided less fighting minions, more fighting other champions, and removed the feature altogether. Another thing that is super weird that you may have asked yourself is, why do a bunch of random champions have a bunch of these small AP ratios? I mean, someone like Jim has a small one on his trap, and many other champions have a bunch of random AP ratios. The thing is that these AP ratios usually make no sense whatsoever. You are on an AD champion, you're going to build AD, everything about him or her is AD, and there's some random AP ratio lying within the kit. The reason for this actually does make sense. Riot Gypsy Lord actually explained it himself. It's because AP scalings actually allow stuff like Baron buff and any sort of support who gives AP in the future to feel a little bit better. This means even though it's just very small, you still get some sort of feeling of empowerment. This means no matter what sort of buff your teammates can give you, or even an item can give you, although items, you wouldn't really build AP items, but you get the idea, or something like Baron gives you with the additional AP, it still feels better than nothing. I mean, this actually is super cool, and it kind of makes sense, to be honest. I mean, if you get AP from Baron and you're playing Jhin, your traps will now do additional damage, and it's a nice benefit in any sort of team fight or just while playing the character. Another reason, and the second reason, is my favorite. This is because they like to allow stuff that are a little bit trolly, you know, the troll-based builds, like building full-on AP and just destroying and one-shotting people with those sweet Jhin traps. I absolutely love this, and I think the fact that Riot is still trying their best to leave this, even though their game is becoming super competitive and meta focused, and it has been for a long time and will continue to, I love it. I love that Riot still looks out for people like me. I mean, I'm someone who jumps into normals or all random earth and just has fun. I'm not super competitive. I understand the game, its mechanics, and I appreciate how complex it is. Even though the base is very simple, I still love having fun that's my initial playstyle, having fun. So it's super great they still look out for us, and they still just put in these AP ratios just so we can mess around with it and have different builds. I think it's super great, and I hope Riot continues to do this forever. Next up, we have something so weird. I mean, I find it super weird. There was a version of the summoner spell designs in which certain champions could not take specific summoner spells. Now, I know this sounds weird. I mean, because it was weird, because imagine playing Kassadin and in theory not able to take flash because he is mobile. It doesn't make very much sense. Or imagine being able to flash only on champions who weren't mobile. I mean, I gotta admit, I wonder why they even wanted that in the first place. The only thing I can think of is maybe because they would have more control and freedom within their own designs. However, it would have been super complex, messy, and really clunky, to be honest. I mean, I'm still kind of just processing the idea and imagining a League of Legends that you can't choose your own summoner spells. I don't think I like the idea very much, and I'm pretty sure many other people wouldn't have either. I mean, it would have really changed the game, like a lot, because they would now have control of who could flash, who could ignite, who can teleport, who could smite, and it would allow them to, I guess, carefully choose who jungles, who doesn't, etc, etc, and I think it would give them more freedom within the design. By this I mean they could give someone a very long dash that could dash twice and it's on a short cooldown and it seems super OP, but because they can't take flash, it's not very OP. It's actually within the design of League of Legends, but I think it would have been very clunky and not exactly smooth whatsoever. Next on our list, we have an item that once upon a time existed, or well, was sort of experimented on. It's called the Mandrake Ward. It actually appeared on PvE very shortly, but was instantly removed. When consumed, it placed a sentry down. However, if an enemy unit passed, it would ping the map and alert your team, but wouldn't reveal the enemy, so it was all based off sounds and the visual of the ping. I think what made it unique, because it sounds kind of weird up to this point, is that it would work for visible champions, but more importantly, invisible champions. It's interesting, and to be honest, I have a prediction, even though it was a very long time ago when we saw this appear on the PvE and we haven't seen anything since. I have a strong feeling we could see it in the future, maybe as a cheaper version of a pink ward. Now you may ask, why would we see this in the future? It sounds a little bit weird, maybe kind of useless, and I think it's because I believe Riot will eventually do a huge stealth update, like a rework to how the stealth system maybe works, or a lot of the stealth champions, in a way that's maybe more intuitive or more fun to play with. But alongside that update, if they strengthen stealth too much, there's going to need to be a stronger counter and a cheap counter. We can't just be placing pink wards everywhere consistently, so a cheaper sentry that pings when a Evelynn walks by to warn your teammates they're in your jungle or they're about to gank you, especially because you can use these along the entry points throughout your jungle, so when Evelynn enters, oh, she's invading. I think it's a good counter if they happen to eventually rework stealth and maybe make it stronger. Next is the ranked system. Originally, it only lasted a few months, kind of like Overwatch does if you guys play that game. It would only last a few months in duration and would have a 3-week preseason multiple times during a single year. It's something cool, and something that's even cooler is that they elaborated saying that the end of the season would have all the top players battle it out in a tournament and see who's crowned victors for a awesome reward. Now, it's definitely crazy to think how much it's changed. I mean, from wanting a few month ranked season to with a 3-week preseason continuously to only being once a year with one preseason is a huge change. I mean, can we imagine how it used to be? I think it would be kind of cool because you'd have rank resets more often, but multiple preseasons sounds very weird. One of my favorite things is how every preseason we're ready for a big shakeup. They throw League of Legends into a bottle, shake it up, and then pour it back out just for us to experience and see new things, and I think it's nice. So I think if preseasons were more frequent, using this system, we wouldn't see as big updates or as huge of a shakeup, which could be a little bit disappointing. I think Riot did it for the best, especially because how grindy ranked is. Now the last thing on our list is actually very old. I mean, even before the beta. The 5v5 Summoner's Rift was originally a lot more creepier and had a very dark theme. It had a lot of trinkets and a lot of sort of gadgets that look like a Hextech medieval mix-up. It looks really badass, but as we know, Summoner's Rift is a lot more bright, vibrant, and a lot more colorful in general. The thing is it looks really awesome. I mean, in my opinion, it's badass, and it'd be cool if they take this influence and bring it back to a map. However, I think it took too much influence from Dota, so maybe they wanted to make more differences, maybe because Dota has this kind of creepy-esque feel to it, so maybe they wanted to change it. But I do think that the creepy design was pretty badass, and I think it might have even influenced Twisted Treeline, because it also has that mystic dark vibe to it. However, with all that being said, that about wraps up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed my commentary, leave a like. If you didn't, tell me what you didn't like in the comments below. Let me know what you liked about the video. If you liked it at all, did you learn something new? Like if you liked it, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you guys next time.
Pro Guides is the best and easiest way to learn how to master League of Legends quickly and effectively. Backed by the biggest names in League of Legends, whatever concept you're struggling with, we have a guide for it. After watching a guide, if you have any questions, you can use Genius, where a Master or Challenger Pro Guides player will immediately answer any question you have. Get to your dream rank today by signing up for Pro Guides. It's time to be part of our winning program.